Okay, so as in the last video we have discussed about the properties or the characteristics of neutron, right? So from today we are going to start with our atomic models, and the very first model which was proposed by J.J. Thomson in 19th century, right? So as on the left hand side, as you can see, he is the man who discovered or who proposed the atomic model of an atom in 19th century, when the neutron was not even discovered, right? We know that neutron was discovered in 1932, and 1932 means neutron was discovered in 20th century, but this atomic model was given by J.J. Thomson in 19th century, right? He gave or he proposed this model in 19th century, and he got a Nobel Prize for this atomic model as well, since this was the very first model in which he proposed, right? But neutron were not discovered, since we know that neutron were discovered in 1932, right? 1932 means neutrons were discovered in 20th century. 20th century. Neutron was discovered in 20th century means when he proposed his model, he just told about, or he just was only known about two subatomic particles, which were electron and proton. So I can also write here, he was only known about two atomic particles, two subatomic particles. He was only known about two subatomic particles, because neutrons were not discovered at a time. Subatomic particles, and what were those? Proton and electrons. Proton and electron, right? So he proposed his model on the basis of proton and electron only. He was not known that there is something else in the nucleus of an atom as well, and that was neutron, and that was discovered in the 1932 by James Chadwick, and the clue was printed out by Rutherford, as we have discussed in the last to last lecture, right? So what did he say? As you can see the picture on the right hand side, you can see a sphere which is made up of a positive charge, right? You can see this big positive charge, which means this is a whole sphere which is made up of a positive charge, right? So let me make this with another color so that you can guys see too. This is positive charge. This is whole, the entire, this sphere is made up of positive charge, and there are electrons, as you can see with the white yellow colors. These are electrons which are embedded into it, right? These are embedded into the positive sphere of an atom. So what did he say? He said this is the positive sphere and electrons are embedded into it. Electrons are embedded into it, in it or into it, right? So what were the conclusions of his theory, or his atomic model? Was the first, the atom is made up of a positive sphere, right? It is not made up of a sphere which contain the positive charge, but he said an atom is made up of a positive sphere, right? So I should write this here. First one, an atom is made up of a positive sphere, right? Positive sphere. positive sphere. This was his very first point, which means an atom is made up of a positive sphere. As you can see, this whole pink, entire pink surface, right? Second point, he said that there are electrons, or there are negatively charged particles, negatively charged particles, which are embedded into it, embedded in it, right? So the second point of his atomic model was there are negatively charged particles, and we know that negatively charged particles are electrons, right? So there are negatively charged particles which are embedded in this positive, in this entire positive surface, right? And he also said that atom is electrically neutral, electrically neutral. Atom is electrically neutral, means there are same number of protons as well as same number of electrons. So let me write that, this is a very important point. Same number of protons and electrons, which are cancelling each other out, and they are making it electrically neutral, right? Now what things he could not explain, as you can see, we know that he just asked that the entire mass of an atom is in it, right? This is the entire mass of an atom, and we know that in the mass of an atom we take proton, the number of proton and the number of neutron, right? And he said the entire mass is divided in this entire space, right? So when Rutherford, I am going to explain you about the Rutherford in very detail in the next lecture, but here I am just giving you a clue, right? Then Rutherford did an experiment. He did alpha particle scattering experiment in which he put a gold foil, right? And when he made alpha particle pass through it, it got penetration, right? Some were deflected at a very small angle. Here he put zinc sulfide plate too, U-shaped zinc sulfide plate, right? Some got deflected at a very small angle, some got passed, which were 99.9, and some got deflected by a very small angle, and very few, 1 in 2000 got back. Here it was screen as well, and we were showing that 1 into 20,000 is coming back, right? So if according to the J.J. Thomson, there was entire mass substituted in the atom, right? If there would be entire mass divided in an atom, so it should not have passed straight. It has passed straight, means there is an extra nuclear part as well. There is something free, or there is something hollow or empty in the atom as well, right? So he could not explain that. He just asked that there is mass substituted in an atom, but this was the point. He could not explain it properly, and his model got rejected. But for this model, as this got failed, we know that, but for this model he got Nobel Prize as well, since this was the very first atomic model which was discovered by him in the 19th century. That's why he got Nobel Prize too. So let me write this here. He got Nobel Prize too for the atomic model. Atomic model. And he compared this atomic model with two big things. What were those big things? Let me show you that. Okay, so as you can see here, this picture in which he has compared his Thomson, or he has compared his atomic model with the two big things, which are watermelon and plum pudding, right? His atomic model is also known as plum pudding model, or you can say it is known as watermelon model, right? Now how he asked that this is same as like watermelon, since you can see the watermelon is made up of the pink one, as you can see this pink one, right? So this pink, he said that this is the positive sphere. The atom is, the entire atom he called the entire watermelon, and the entire atom is made up of positive charge or positive sphere. Then this entire watermelon is made up of this pink, right? So this is positive sphere. This pink one he represented that this is the positive charge. Then he said electrons are embedded into it. Now you can see this black seeds, right? These black seeds are embedded into this, right? These black seeds are embedded. So he said these seeds are like electron. These are embedded in this positive sphere. So he compared this, his model, with this watermelon, as like we have got this point 2, right? How did he compare? Now we are going to compare his model with the plum pudding model as well. Now how did he said this, his atomic model is same as plum pudding model? Because as you can see, the plum pudding is made up of milk and you can say raisins, right? So now the, you know what, if you're taking a bowl is the entire atom, right? And in that entire atom you are putting milk, right? And milk, you can say, is the positive sphere. So milk, he said that, for example, this entire cake, this this this, right? This is entire positive charge, he said, positive charge. So the milk is acting as positive charge, but the raisins which are embedded in this milk, he said these are as electron, as electrons are embedded in the positive sphere and these raisins are embedded in this milk. So he said these raisins are negative charge, which means electrons, and these raisins are embedded into it, which means electrons are embedded into it. So in the next video we're gonna discuss about the Rutherford atomic model, as his atomic model got failed. Then the Rutherford, he is the scientist, he came and he gave his model, atomic model, and he took the experiment too, which was alpha parting scattering experiment, or you can say Rutherford Goldfield experiment. So we're going to discuss about that in the next video.